Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today we're going to be doing some Winged Dragon of Ra test hands. So I'm really excited to do this one for you guys because this is actually the first test hand that I'll be doing with the new camera on the channel. I hope you guys are really enjoying that because I'm really glad I was actually able to upgrade for you guys, and I'm super excited to actually bring the Winged Dragon of Ra as the very first test hand on the channel. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell on there so you can come part of our notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below because we have some awesome rewards, you guys, like getting your name in the description for every single video, getting a signed card sent in the mail, or even getting to request a deck profile every single month that you're a patron along with test hands. So this is just super exciting. This deck can actually make some really amazing plays and make some really insane like Winged Dragon of Ra summons, where you can get Winged Dragon of Ra all the way up to like 20 or so thousand, and it just gets really big. Like, it's just a fun deck to play around with. I would not hesitate to carry it to a locals and just kind of surprise people with it, because you never know what you're actually going to be able to do with this deck, because you might actually pull off like a surprise OTK with it, which is what it usually does. I will mention though, this deck is usually a going second deck, so there will be going second and going first test hands in this particular video, but I will show you guys how consistent it is to summon the Winged Dragon of Ra. It's not a super good going first deck, and that's why I bring it up, because once you summon the Winged Dragon of Ra, if you leave it on the field and your opponent outs it, usually you'll just be stuck at like 100 life points left. So that's why I just wanted to bring that up really quick. So let's go ahead and get into this really quick and see what we can actually pull off with this. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle up the deck, sit that right there, and see what we can get. So we're going to go up ahead and open up a Millennium Revelation, Danger Thunderbird, the copy of Metal Reflect Slime, a copy of Called by the Grave, and a copy of Danger Chupacabra. So this is not a terrible hand at all. I wouldn't be, upset about this. So let's go ahead and see what we can do. If we were going second, I will go ahead and do a going second hand, because you do have the dangers in your hand, and that's not that bad, but let's just go ahead and see what we would get. So you get the Monster Reborn, which is going to make the hand that much better. But let's go ahead and set our copy Monster Reborn, because you're going to want to set the cards that you're going to want to save. So let's go ahead and set the Metal Reflect Slime as well. So now I would go ahead and activate the copy of Danger Thunderbird, and then you would set all these cards on the field. So since we have those dice sitting over there, I'm going to try and start including those in the video so you guys can see when we do dice rolls and stuff like that. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 will be roll again. So we're going to roll a 6. So we're going to roll again, and we're going to get a 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This is going to be the hit right here, which is the Danger Chupacabra, which is not that big of a deal. Since it hit the graveyard, you do get to special summon out the copy of your Danger Thunderbird. So once you special summon out your copy of Danger Thunderbird, you're going to be able to draw an additional card, which is going to be another copy of Metal Reflect Slime. Now you can go at your opponent with just the Danger Thunderbird with the 28, just to kind of go after them as well. And you have the copy of the Called by the Grave that can negate a spell or trap, or not a spell or trap, but a hand trap. This card's really good to be able to just set, and you can intimidate your opponent by setting all the back row. So you can go, if you're going first and you didn't have the copy of the Monster Reborn, you could still go off with this particular hand. Now, it might change what you hit with the Danger Thunderbird, but you still have that copy of Monster Reborn that can pull you off some really good plays. So that's it for the going first hand. You do have, again, your copies of your Metal Reflect Slimes as well that you can put on the field on the next turn to kind of block your opponent. That then later, if you want to, if you save one of these Metal Reflect Slimes, I will show you guys this one really quick. If you do save one of your Metal Reflect Slimes and it can live through the turn, let's just say that your opponent board wipes you during their next turn, and you can keep a Metal Reflect Slime on your side of the field, you can do this. You can actually flip the copy of Monster Reborn, bring back your copy of Danger Thunderbird, and depending on what you draw, which is the Ancient Chant, guess what? Activate Ancient Chant. It will then let us search our copy of the Winged Dragon of Ra. Any art that you particularly like. I like all three. Definitely comment down below. Tell me what you guys like from the art. Tell me which one's your favorite. I like this one and I like the original one. So if you're going to go ahead and activate that copy of Monster Reborn, bring back your Thunderbird to your side of the field. Now your Ancient Chant will touch the graveyard, and this will go into our hand. So now you have the second copy of Metal Reflect Slime that you can put on your side of the field, and you can go ahead and summon out a copy of your copy of Cross Sheep. So once you summon your Cross Sheep here, you then can use your copy of Metal Reflect Slime here and special summon out a copy of your Egyptian God Slime, which then will let you special summon from the graveyard a copy of your Danger Chupacabra because of the copy of Cross Sheep. Now that you've got this, you haven't normal summoned this turn, but you can banish your copy of the Ancient Chant if you want to, so it gains the attack, tribute off the copy of the Egyptian God Slime, and summon out the Winged Dragon of Ra, paying your life points that you want to. This card can be treated as one tribute for the entire tribute of your Egyptian God, which is super cool. And it has the ability also that if you do it this way, that this card will come out at 7,999 plus 3,000, so it'll come out at about 10,999, which is humongous for this particular card. So that's it for the first test hand. Let's go into the next test hand. That was multiple turns. It was if you were going first or second, but it's just a couple little cool combos that you can use, especially with your Egyptian God Slime. So let's go ahead and see what we can do for the next particular hand. So that wasn't bad at all. That wasn't terrible. You had some dangers in your hand that you could go off with. You had some really good plays in that hand. It was overall really, really, really good. Sorry, my OCD was kicking in. So let's go ahead and see what we can actually pull off for the next one. So for the next one, we're going to go ahead and we're going to draw right about, I'm feeling good about this one. Let's see what we can do. So we're going to go ahead and draw a 5. This one, I'm going to go ahead and say this is going to be a going first. Again, the deck is not super good at going first. If you go first, you're going to want to try and establish a Metal Reflect Slime or an Egyptian God Slime to protect you until the following turn, which is not terrible. So this isn't bad at all. You're going to want to try and force the copy of the Guardian Slime out of your hand. So I would go ahead and activate your copy. Well, I would even do it this way. I would force it out of my hand a little bit by going ahead and normal summoning out the Trick Clown, revealing the copy of Mothman. And then once you do, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's give Critias some love this time and shuffle that up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 right here. We're going to go ahead and hit the copy of our Immortal Phoenix, which is not that bad at all. Then we get to special summon out the copy of the Danger Mothman, which is fine. We needed to get the copy of Danger Mothman on the far side of the field as quickly as possible because this card has the ability that it lets you draw one and then discard a card. So we're going to go ahead and draw into another Mothman and discard the Guardian Slime. So when the Guardian Slime actually touches the graveyard, it has a really neat effect. That it lets you add a card from your deck to your hand that specifically lists the Winged Dragon of Ra, which is going to be Ancient Chant. You're always going to want to add Ancient Chant because then you can activate the copy of Ancient Chant on your side of the field and then grab a copy of the Winged Dragon of Ra from your deck to your hand, which is going to be amazing and super helpful for your particular plays because now you have 2 tributes on your side of the field and you've got a set card as well that can help you get a monster reborn. So now you have the Egyptian God in your hand. You can activate that copy of Millennium Revelation if you want to activate that copy of Millennium Revelation. And it says you can send a Divine Beast from your hand to the graveyard to add a monster reborn from your deck. So we're going to go ahead and activate that, send the copy of the Winged Dragon of Ra from our hand to the graveyard. Now this is setting up a defensive turn 1 play, I will mention. So this is going very, very, very defensive. So if we're going to do that, we're going to go ahead and add our copy of Monster Reborn from our deck to our hand. And since we have 2 monsters on our side of the field, we can activate we can have the 3rd monster as well. So we're going to go ahead and activate the copy of Monster Reborn, bring back our copy of not the Winged Dragon of Ra, but actually our copy of the Guardian Slime. Now you have 2 choices here. You can go ahead and just end your turn, or you can link summon as well. I recommend the link summon. I would go ahead and link summon right here. I would summon out the copy of Cross Sheep, the copy of the copy of your Trick Clown will then activate, special summoning itself back. You will take 1,000 points of damage, going to 7,000 life points. You can then use your copy of Guardian Slime to summon out a copy of your Egyptian God Slime. So now that you have the Egyptian God Slime, your copy of your Cross Sheep will then activate, letting you special summon from the graveyard a copy of Danger Mothman. You can summon him either way, it doesn't really matter. And then now you can link summon if you want to. You have plenty of different link monsters that you could summon in the extra deck. You could go for an access code talker at this particular instance. You could go for a unicorn. You could go for a copy of number 60. I kind of recommend going for the number 60 because then you can always make something else later. You can always overlay this like this, draw 2 and then discard a card. Because you have the Mothman in your hand, it's not a super big deal. So you can go ahead and draw 2 cards and then discard a card, which if you have the copy of the Sphere mode, I recommend discarding the Sphere Mode because I don't think you're going to really need it. Then you have the second copy of the Ancient Chant, which you've already established one time in the graveyard, but it's going to get you another copy of your monster back to your hand, which is going to be super helpful to be able to get those additional cards as well. It's just a really good way to get your copy of Monster Reborn and get a field kind of established on your side of the field. I put this in defense mode, by the way, because we're going defensive. And then if you really want to go a little bit further and dig a little bit deeper to go get a better field, you can. If you instead wanted to summon your copy of Abyss Dweller here to shut down Graveyard, you could do that, and it would boost this up a little bit, I believe. No, it wouldn't boost it up because it doesn't have anything that's water, but it still would shut down graveyards if you want to go that route. You could go for access code, or you could summon Nightmare Unicorn, but your opponent wouldn't have any cards to bounce, so it kind of is like, why would I go that route? I kind of just like leaving it like this. It's not that big of a deal. And then the following turn, I have a total setup for the Egyptian God, which is the way you actually would go. So if I go into the next turn, let's just say that even if your opponent board wipes you and leaves you the Egyptian God Slime, because that card is ridiculously hard to get rid of, you would draw into the next turn and go ahead and activate your copy of Ancient Chant. Now, once you activate that copy of Ancient Chant, we're going to go ahead and add our Winged Dragon of Ra. Actually, we already searched that one this game. Let's search the other one. You're going to go ahead and add the copy of Winged Dragon of Ra from your deck to your hand, which is going to be super helpful just to be able to get it from your deck to your hand, because you're going to summon it really, really easily. So after you add this card from your deck to your hand, you're going to go ahead and you're going to banish it, which then you would special summon to your side of the field your copy of your danger, or you'd activate your copy of Ancient Chant, banishing it, set your copy of your Metal Reflect Slime, and then activate the copy of Ancient Chant, tributing off your copy of your Egyptian God Slime to special summon out your copy, or normal summon out your copy of Winged Dragon of Ra, which will come out with whatever life points you have left, which you had 7,000. So it will come out at 6,900, which would be kind of cool. And then you will then activate your copy of Mothman, which Mothman is the only card in your hand. You'll discard it, and then its effect will go off to draw one and then discard a card, which is the only card in your hand. And then you can go in and attack your opponent for the 6,900, which is going to be pretty good to be able to get that off. And then you can always summon the copy of Metal Reflect Slime during the next turn, which will get you an Egyptian God Slime on your turn. So that's it for the second test hand. Let's go on into the third test hand. Let's go ahead and get these cards out of the extra deck really quick, or out of the graveyard that go back in the extra deck. So not that bad to be able to go off with. Let's go ahead and see what we can do in the next one. So we're going to go ahead and shuffle this back up, get these out of the way real quick, and see what we can do. So let's go ahead and shuffle this bad boy up and see what we can do for the next test hand. So the dangers help out a lot, which is something that I kind of was like against. I wanted to go for more of an extravagance build in the first build, which is kind of why I didn't play quite as many dangers. But you can't really play extravagance in here because it turns all your dangers off for when you draw, because you can't draw for the rest of the turn, which kind of sucks. So let's go ahead and see what we can do for this next one. So we're going to go ahead and draw into a Winged Dragon of Ra Sphere mode, Yugioh the Destructor, Bigfoot. I'm going to say we're going second this time, Ancient Chant, and a copy of Danger Nessie. So if we're going first or we're going second, this is a really good hand, I will say. So let's still go ahead and say we're going second. We're going to go ahead and draw into a copy of the Reactor Slime, which is going to help us out quite a lot. So I would go ahead and just immediately give our opponent that copy of the Winged Dragon of Ra Sphere mode. You can't normal summon this turn, but that's not that big of a deal. We're not worried about normal summoning at all, but they're going to get rid of 3 of their monsters, which is going to be the big play of this. So now we're going to go ahead and reveal the copy of the Danger Nessie, because I want to get let's reveal the Bigfoot, because I don't care if the Nessie gets discarded, because then I'll just get to search. So let's go ahead and reveal the copy of Bigfoot. So we're going to go ahead and roll 1, 2, 3, 4. Go ahead and roll again. Oh, we haven't rolled Critias yet, or Timaeus. We rolled Timaeus, we haven't rolled Hermos. Let's go ahead and roll Hermos. We're going to get a 6, roll again. We got a 1, so 1 right here. We're going to go ahead and reveal the Yugioh the Destructor, but since it was sent from the hand, its effect does not go off, which is totally fine. We're going to go ahead and special summon out that copy of Bigfoot, which then can pop the copy of Sphere Mode if this is the only card that they have left. Now we're going to go ahead and have a 3K beat stick on the field, but we're going to reveal in our hand the copy of the Nessie, and this is evens and this is odds. So we're going to go ahead and go evens odds right here. This is going to be the Nessie that we're going to hit, which is then going to let us search a copy of Danger from our deck to our hand, which is going to help us out quite a lot because this card reads that if this card is, oh, I totally forgot, we get to draw a card off the copy of Bigfoot. So we're going to go ahead and draw first. So I totally forgot about that. So go ahead and shuffle that back up. We're going to go ahead and roll again. Excuse me. We're going to go ahead and roll again. So this is 1 right here. We're going to go ahead and hit the Call by the Grave this time and special summon out the copy of Danger Nessie, which then will let us draw again, which is going to be a copy of the Winged Dragon of Ra, Sphere, or Immortal Phoenix. Now, this is where it gets a little bit tough because if you would have had a copy of your, if you would have had a copy of a Danger, that would you play plenty of them, you could have revealed the copy of your Ancient Chant and then got off with a really good Winged Dragon of Ra play, which is the only time that this actually kind of doesn't go off. But we're going to go ahead and add the copy of Winged Dragon of Ra from our deck to our hand, just in case we just want to go ahead and get it. You could have activated it when you got the Call by the Grave as well, which could have protected it if your opponent was going to ash it as well. So you still have a pretty good board because you can OTK, or not OTK, but you can do some damage, which is 3k, and then you have a 2800 body on your side of the field, which is super helpful. And if you draw into the next turn, you're going to get an Upstart, which you're going to go ahead and immediately drop, and then you're going to draw into a copy of the Winged Dragon of Ra, which is not going to be super helpful, but you also have the copy of your Reactor Slime that you can normal summon, which will give you 2 tokens on your side of the field, which is going to be pretty helpful to get those 2 tokens that you can then use its effect to tribute this card, and then you set a copy of Metal Reflect Slime, which then you can activate later on and be able to get a copy of God Slime. So let's go ahead and see what we can do for one more test hand and see what we can actually pull off. So as you can see, this deck is pretty consistent on bringing out Ra. It's really nice with the dangers, especially even if you don't bring out Ra, you're going to be able to get to the Winged Dragon of Ra extremely easily. And if you don't, you're going to be able to throw out a bunch of dangers at your opponent and break their board with Sphere mode. So let's go ahead and see what we can do for this next one. I think that last one was going first, so let's go second this time. So we're going to go second. We're going to get a copy of Guardian Slime, Bigfoot, we went second, so we're going to go first this time. Ancient Chant, Foolish Burial, and a copy of Sphere Mode. So this is not bad at all. We have a Danger, we have a copy of a Sphere Mode, we have, if we hit it, we're going to get whatever we need. So let's go ahead and set these two, because we want to keep them. And we're going to go ahead and reveal the copy of Bigfoot, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to go right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A lot of people wouldn't have called that a roll, but hey, whatever. We're going to hit the copy of Sphere Mode, and it's going to go to the graveyard. It's not what you want to hit. You want to hit your copy of your Guardian Slime because it'll help you get your cards out on the field. Now, you can activate the copy of Foolish Burial to send something from deck to graveyard, which is going to be pretty helpful to send like a Trick Clown or something like that from your deck to the graveyard, so it'll get its effect off if you want to. Or you can hold on it if you want to hold on it. But this card actually has a really cool effect that if it's sent from the field or the hand to the graveyard, but it doesn't go off if it goes from the deck, which kind of sucks. So we're just going to hold on that and go in with the Bigfoot. And then you also have the copy of Ancient Chant that you can reveal that copy of Ancient Chant and add a copy of the Winged Dragon of Ra from your deck to your hand. And then if you pass turn and go to your next turn, you already have the setup with the Ancient Chant. And then you go to next turn, which is a Millennium Revelations, which then can help you out a little bit well, you can't bring back your copy. Well, yeah, it'll help because you can activate the copy of Millennium Revelations, use the copy of the Winged Dragon of Ra, discard, add your copy of Monster Reborn, send this card from your field to the graveyard, activate the Monster Reborn, bring back your copy of the Winged Dragon of Ra, and then you still have some plays to go off. But let's just go ahead and say that we don't do that and we don't discard it and search. I'm going to show you a really quickly alternative route that if something happens, you can get out the Winged Dragon of Ra. So if, for instance, your opponent destroys the Bigfoot by battle and inflicts any damage to your opponent, or they just get rid of the Bigfoot and they deal any damage to you, you can special summon out the copy of Guardian Slime. If you special summon out this copy of Guardian Slime on the last attack that your opponent's going to do, or the second to last attack that your opponent's going to do, you special summon this out to your side of the field and you pass, you get your turn, send it to the graveyard, summon your copy of God Slime. Now, you also have the God Slime on your side of the field, and depending on what your life points are at, you'll be okay. This was sent to the graveyard, which will get you your copy of your Blaze Cannon, which is going to make it ridiculous. Summon out the copy, or activate the copy of Blaze Cannon when you summon out Ra, and you're going to get some really insane plays. So we're going to go ahead and tribute summon out using the copy of Ancient Chant. We're going to banish that, tribute the copy of the Winged Dragon of Ra. activate Blaze Cannon, target this, and then OTK the opponent with whatever we have left, and go in with the copy of Winged Dragon of Ra, because this will make it unaffected by card effects. When it attacks, you contribute any monster you control, making it gain the attack that it lost. And then also, if this card attacked, you can send all monster opponent controls to the graveyard. So it's pretty good just right there with that. And depending on what life points you have left, you can also Foolish Burial to send from your deck to the graveyard a copy of, for instance, if you want to, your Immortal Phoenix, that if the copy of the Winged Dragon of Ra gets destroyed by some means, you do have ways to keep going because the Immortal Phoenix will come out. So you have some plays right there if you do need them and you want to thin the deck so you don't have to worry about so many cards. But that's pretty much it for the test hands. It's really easy to get Ra out in this deck, and if you don't get Ra out, like I showed you guys, it's ridiculously easy to get out your copy of the God Slime, because God Slime just summons itself out so fast and just goes after your opponent. So it's a really fun deck to play around with. Like I said in the video before, you don't really use all that many cards in the extra deck. Like, all you really use is this, and this. Like, that's literally all I summoned. I had options that I could have summoned more if I wanted to, but these are the main ones that if you just get these cards, you'll probably be okay with an Egyptian God deck. So that's it for the deck, guys, and that's it for this test hand video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Definitely hit that bell there so you can come part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.